In a few minutes' time, Stan Dickinson is going to bring his boat Tuskar over here to Priory Wharf for a pick-up. Then it's off out to the river for a look at what Liverpool has to offer on the summer scene.
Good morning, I'm Stan, skipper of Tuskar. We'll be going out today, doing a bit of tow fishing, and then we'll go on to a wreck and see what we can get off that. So welcome aboard and enjoy your day.
I'm not sure to what extent anglers fully appreciate what a gem of an all-round fishery Liverpool actually is. Much has been made of the cod fishing tucked inside the Mersey out of the window over the winter months, and rightly so. But the fishing outside to many people is a totally unknown quantity, which is a pity, because both the wrecks and the open ground have a fantastic potential. As a major trading port, Liverpool has obviously attracted a lot of shipping traffic over the years, some of which, for various reasons, has failed to make it safely into dock. So it should come as no surprise at all to hear that there are literally dozens of wrecks scattered about the bay, many within striking range of Priory Wharf. This said, don't expect them to be loaded with the same size of pollock, conger and ling you may find, say, off the Cornish coast, because the water here is much shallower, and these wrecks have a tendency to silt up. Just remember that everything is relative, and that out on the open ground surrounding these wrecks are plenty of taupe, rays, huss and gurnards, plus a whole host of smaller fish species eager and willing to pick up a baited hook. Quality bait is the key to success on all good fishing trips, so half an hour spent stocking up with fresh mackerel should be seen as an investment rather than a chore. In the weeks leading up to this trip, inshore mackerel have been hard to find due to discoloration in the water. Further off it's a different matter, so filling up the bait tubs didn't take long at all. For taupe, a big bait oozing plenty of scent is a must. Actual presentation is a matter for personal taste. On this particular day, most on board opted for a whole mackerel with the tail removed to prevent it spinning, and slits cut along its flanks to let out the oil and blood. And to a man, everyone on board fishing for taupe used heavy nylon traces instead of wire. Bite-offs are rare with 200-pound mono, and it's a whole lot safer and kinder to the hands than wire when a fish needs to be guided to within grabbing range. Quite a few of the party were competition anglers, so as you can probably imagine, there was quite a bit of competitive banter about the place, particularly when a £5 sweep was organised for the biggest fish. Taupe were onto the bigger baits more or less as soon as the anchor went down, with a steady string of gurnards, bullhuss and dogs on the smaller baited feather rigs. In fact, a succession of early taupe in the 15 to 25 pound bracket saw the lead in the sweep constantly moving around the boat.
Baby, it's only a babby that. Oh, look fine.
Milk the phone. The cameras.
£22 on the money.
22 boys. 22 to do.
But deep down, everybody knew that something bigger must eventually come along to wrestle the cash from the kitty. Between fish, a steady stream of brews, sausages, pasties and meatballs kept appearing from Stan's galley.
Love all that.
Banjo.
Banjo, Cash.
claiming that stuff.
Get out of it.
No, the little one. Little ending rope.
As soon as the taut was brought on board, all efforts were made to prevent it thrashing about and possibly damaging itself, and during disgorging, a wet rag was placed over its eyes to help keep it calm. One of the early runners to get a realistic sniff at the money had been Scottish international Mick Duff with a 36-pounder, which, while it was easily beatable on these grounds, on its day could also be just about big enough to settle the issue.
Make way! Casualty!
Every sizeable taut was weighed accurately using a weighing sling to ensure that no lasting harm would result from its short time on the boat. When you have a quality fishery, as undoubtedly exists in Liverpool Bay, it's important to do everything within your power to ensure it stays that way, which Stan obviously is keen to do.
After these 5.
36.
Ooh. 36.
Hey!
And that's the way it remained well on into the toping session, until right at the death, Brian Kane had a run that tore off through several of the other lines, creating the mother of all tangles. It was obviously a good fish, but whether or not we would ever get to see it lay in the hands of the other lads trying to unravel the mess and free up his line, allowing him to continue with the fight. A neat bit of knife work eventually left Brian's line as the only one still in there, and in due course he was able to steer his fish within grabbing range of Stan.
You want it, Stan? Just in. Backwards that way up the ball. Take it past his son, he's got his tail. There, isn't it?
As Stan was lifting the sling onto the scales, Mickey Duff could surely sense that his kitty was slipping away. This was quickly confirmed as the needle finally settled at £41.
41.
41 pounder.
Still well short of the potential for the area, but a reasonable fish and a worthy winner nonetheless.
Right, we've had a few tope, what we came for, so we're going to up anchor in a minute and move on to a wreck and see what we can catch off that. Hopefully a few different species, and we'll give that a go for a few hours, and then we'll be heading off back in.
Though conger and ling were expected, there was nothing presumably big enough down there to threaten Brian's sweepstake leader. Nothing, that is, until on the big bottom baits it was more of the same, with taut both on and around what remained of the wreck. So suddenly the sweepstake was back on, though in the end Brian's fish proved just too much for the competition.
Yeah, really good day. Been out in Liverpool Bay, fish for taupe. Rather good actually. I thought for the taupe this time of the year. Deep water wreck, caught taupe off there. Plenty of bullets, dogfish, pouting, whiting, mackerel. Pretty good day, all in all. Advise anybody to come out with Stan and have another go.
Yeah, it hasn't been a bad day. We've had some nice taupe. Li's had the best, £41. He takes the money. Mickey hasn't got over it yet, but he will, I'm sure. Yeah, we had 12 species today. It hasn't been a great day, but it's been a decent day, and the weather's been kind to us. And I'd like to thank the lads for a good day out and all the banter and everything. And no, I've enjoyed myself. Right. Yeah, all right.
Not a bad trip for a city centre venue. In fact, an excellent trip by any standards, and one repeated regularly throughout the summer months from Liverpool, as ever, weather permitting.